Welcome to another episode of Behind the Book. Gil Alexander from the Vegas Stats and Information Network, VSIN, and of course the Vice President of Race and Sports at MGM Resorts International. It's my buddy Jay Rude. Hello, Jay.
How you doing, Gil?
I'm doing very well. Coming to you live today from the Aria Sportsbook on the Strip. All of this brought to you by the Play MGM app. Jay, this is my home sportsbook, if you will.
Home away from home, lap of luxury right here.
Soon, we will be doing this show from inside my apartment.
Yeah, man, it's just across the street, right?
Just a short walk away. The Aria, the most living room-esque sportsbook, I would say, in town.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it sort of was designed that way. There's some that we've morphed into living rooms and added that sort of feel to it, but this whole area was designed with that vibe, with the intention of that vibe.
And you have succeeded. Best place in Vegas, in my opinion, to watch games.
Good pizza next door, too.
Great
Gotta
pizza
get some
next
food
door.
in.
510 Pizza. Great place to make your bets, win some wagers, and a great place to talk about what we will today, a trio of NFL games and some college football. Clemson, NC State on the way on today's Behind the Book. On Behind the Book from the Aria Sportsbook here, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Here on Behind the Book, it's Gil Alexander from VSIN, Jay Rude from MGM Resorts International. Jay, college football, let's face it, it's all about Alabama thus far this year. Yeah. They are the king, and everybody else just trying to get in the playoff to jockey for position with them. A couple of those teams that control their own destiny that could get to the playoff, maybe face Alabama in a semi or in the championship. Clemson, the usual suspect in the ACC. And then there's the NC State Wolfpack. Both teams undefeated. NC State 5-0, Clemson 6-0. But the Tigers favored by 17 and a hook now. Right. Literally just before we did this segment, it went from 17 to 17 and a hook.
Yeah, obviously all undefeated teams aren't created equal.
No.
And everyone, like you said, is jockeying to get in the playoffs, to get punched in the face by the Bama Tide. So
that's right.
I don't know if that's an envious position or not, but obviously the coaches want to get there to say, hey, we made the playoffs. But I think realistically, at this point in time, unless something really drastic happens, I mean, it kind of looks like everyone's jockeying to be the opponent for Alabama in the national championship.
Now, we talk about key numbers in football, specifically in the NFL. We talk about the 3 and the 7. Here we had a 17. Key-ish. What does it take money-wise for you to get a number from 17 off that to 17 and a half?
It might not necessarily be money because we're doing this on a Wednesday. It's going to be who bet it. So it might not necessarily be a large bet. It would be our max that we take on that particular game, which is probably off the street we would take 15,000 from anybody or 15 dimes. But we very well could have taken a $100,000 bet on that and to move it as well. But generally, this early in the week, it's who, not how much. And I would imagine that's probably the case in this particular instance.
So the person selling the pizza next door, if they came in and made that max bet, you would treat it differently than a known sharp bettor?
Yeah, probably, especially if they showed up at the counter with a Clemson sweatshirt on.
I see. All right.
So yeah, I mean, that's part of the art of being a bookmaker and managing the liability is you got to handicap who is playing the games as well. And the old adverb, book to faces, and that's it still holds true no matter what you do.
Can I make a confession here? I took a shot here at MGM this week. Travis Etienne, Clemson standout running back, was 1,000 to 1 to win the Heisman this week. So I made a little wager, went down to 50 to 1. Not that he's the favorite, Tua Tagovailoa is, but an injury here or there.
Absolutely.
I might be rolling in it.
You're looking at a good ticket there. Yeah, that was a bit of an overlay.
You don't seem worried.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left to play.
Yes. There is. NC State has taken the money against the number here. 6 out of the last 8 meetings between these two teams. Yeah. Clemson's won the last 6 in a row now.
You take that information and you go to the window
Don't do that.
And you're still very confused.
Yes. His point is, small sample size, don't read into that kind of stuff. Clemson, 17.5-point favorites, hosting NC State this Saturday. Aria, beautiful book. All of this brought to you by the Play MGM app. You're watching Behind the Book. It's the Behind the Book sports betting program. Gil Alexander, Jay Rude from MGM Resorts International. He's the bona fide star of the show. We are just in his world. He lords over 10 books here on the Strip, including this lovely one right here at the Aria. You lord over
If that was the
one.
case, there would be a pizza in front of me. Somebody is not doing their job then, so
That's
I don't
true.
know what's going on.
That's true. By the way, the 5-cheese pizza over there, phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like Borgata.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's about. All right, NFL, Jay. The New England Patriots and the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
New England favored by 3 on the road here, 49.5. Now, a lot of people, the casual bettor, they see a line like that and they're like, really? New England only favored by 3 at Chicago? There's something fishy about this line.
Smells like a trap.
Yeah. Ever anything like that, or is this just legit? Is there anything, we've talked about this before, is there anything really that's a trap, or is there anything that's fishy about a line, or is it just, this is what the market determines?
No, it's kind of, what the market determines, what like Denny Green said, you are what you are at one point, and this is kind of the spot. I think this maybe is a result of Chicago maybe getting adjusted a little bit early based off of some early games. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's fool's gold. Everyone was ready to start digging the grave for the Patriots, put the shovel away. I think they're going to be all right.
I think so.
The NFL world is starting to come back to the world that I know and understand. We needed the Browns last week. We needed the Fish last week. We don't need the Patriots. So that's the world that I know, and it's starting to come back to earth. We did a few weeks ago, all that was kind of topsy-turvy and everything was different.
Everything's back to normal?
Everything's back to normal. I need all the crappy teams.
Aren't you awesome?
They struggled to get there. Luckily, the Dolphins and the Big O, got it done for us last week.
The Dolphins did get it done against these Bears who are hosting the Patriots, and it was an overtime game. It went all the way to the end of overtime. Bears had a 53-yard attempt that missed. Immediately, the Dolphins came back, kicked a 47-yarder. Bears had so many chances. They fumbled at the 1, Jordan Howard did. Mitch Trubisky threw an interception in the end zone. So it wasn't as if the Bears were without their chances. And a lot of people, though, if you look back at that game, it was hot, it was humid in Miami, so you may just want to sort of wipe that away as an aberration for the Bears. They do have that great defense led by Khalil Mack. And of course, when last we saw the Patriots, they were there for the whole world to see on Sunday Night Football, beating the Chiefs. Bit of a sieve of a defense for the Patriots,
yes.
but it was against the Chiefs. Chiefs offense just phenomenal, but they end up winning it 43-40. So the public bettor, recency effect is real. They remember the Patriots win, despite it being close, and they remember the Bears loss, but yet it's still only 3.
Yeah, and they're going to go to the window, and the thing is too is, the total is right about what the league average is right now, 48.5.
Jeez.
So
what a world we live in now.
Yeah, but and that seems low compared to what any other Patriot game. I mean, that's going to be easily one or two of the lowest totals that Patriots play this year, obviously. Mm-hmm. But having that on my side, that points are going to be a premium in this game, hopefully, gives me some hope that the 3 is going to be something that we can be competitive in this game, because I definitely think on my side of the counter, we're going to need the Bears. I'm going to need Khalil Mack to get back there and really, disrupt Tom Brady and what he does back there. And you've seen, if you can get back there and rattle him a little bit, there's some vulnerability there. So that's what we're going to need from my side of the counter. But I kind of think that the pros will be back on the Patriots a little bit. This is a weird little spot where they're riding the Patriots.
Yeah, I trust Bill Belichick. I do trust Tom Brady. It's only 3. I think I'm going to be on the Patriots, but you need the Bears. Never a bad thing to be on the side of the book, or the side that the book needs. It's going to be an interesting game. New England by 3, total at 49.5 in Chicago this Sunday afternoon. It's Behind the Book from the Aria, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Back on Behind the Book from the lovely Aria Sportsbook here in Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Jay Rude, and I do mean lovely. This is my go-to sportsbook. I love the Aria Sportsbook. I spend a ridiculous and inordinate, perhaps some would say a suspicious amount of time in this sportsbook.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw when we were getting ready, a table over there with your name on it, Gilly.
Yes, Jeff Hoos, Racing Sportsbook manager over here, hooks it up for me. Let's do a little basketball betting 101, shall we?
Yeah, NBA.
NBA started this week. Warriors and Celtics winners on opening night this week. Yeah. As most would say, they are the favorites in both the Eastern and Western Conference, respectively. So in football, Jay, we talk about the notion of key numbers. Games that fall, or tend to more often than not, fall on the 3, fall on a 7, the margin of victory at the end of games. Are there key numbers in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, 3 is a key number because obviously, 2-pointer, 3-pointer, when you go 2.5 to 3, that's kind of a key number in the NBA. 5 and 6, because when you get down towards the end of the game, you obviously want, that cushion of make it a 2-possession game or a 3-possession game. That's always the key. That's all the commentators are always talking about it. So, when you have that, 3, it can be, a bucket and one, or it's going to force them to do a 3-pointer. It changes a lot of philosophy what the team's going to do. So, it's not as big as it is in football,
right.
But it is a consideration, as you get maybe into the playoffs more, as the volumes start to get bigger and you're taking more money at numbers that could be moving around a little bit.
Understood.
But, not nearly as critical.
Here's the other thing about the NBA that strikes me as different. Obviously, in the NFL, we're familiar with injury reports, questionable, probable, doubtful, whatever the terms are they use now. The NBA, though, obviously they play at random times during the week, and we don't really know, at least the casual bettor doesn't really find out about injuries, let's say, a little nick, or maybe just a coach who wants to sit somebody randomly till right before game time.
Yeah.
Do you, as the bookmaker, have any advantage in that, or are you finding out pretty much at the same time?
No, yeah, it's the NBA injury news is so frustrating and maddening to a lot of bookmakers, almost every bookmaker I know, because if a guy misses shoot around because his kid was sick, all of a sudden he's out. Right? And we get alerts. Oh, he's out. Mm-hmm. So then that can be very critical to the number. So, maybe you follow it. What we want to know, the information, hopefully, and as we get into this, age of Twitter and all this, I guess we're in the middle of it. But,
yes, somewhat.
That information hopefully becomes more transparent because, the guy might miss the shoot around. Okay, I might miss because my kid or something. But then he'll be at the arena getting warmed up. Oh, he's back in. Now the number moves all over the place again.
I will tell you from a better standpoint, though, this actually makes me very happy because what this tells me is you have no discernible advantage in this over me. So if I find that information out before you do, Jay Rude, screw you.
Not anymore, because the NBA and us are partners, so hopefully we'll get a little more clarification on that. But I think it's going to continue. Yeah. I mean, coaches, all that stuff is held close to the vest, so it's still, it's something that they don't want to reveal to the other team. It's not necessarily because they're trying to create a crazy gaming market. That's a byproduct of it.
Yeah. Every sport has its own nuances when betting it, and do keep in mind once again that with scheduling in the NBA, back-to-backs matter. 4 games in 5 days, although they're trying to really tamp that down. Certainly 3 games in 4 nights. Those things matter in terms of why the numbers are what they are in terms of the point spread. Keep all of that in mind when betting the National Basketball Association. It's Jay Rude, it's Gil Alexander. This is the Aria Sportsbook Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Back on Behind the Book here from the Aria Sportsbook in Las Vegas. It's Gil Alexander from the Vegas Stats and Information Network, Sirius XM Channel 204. I host a little program called The Numbers Game, Jay. I don't know if you know this. 7 to 9 Pacific, 10 to noon Eastern.
Absolutely. It's a great program. I listen to it as I'm driving into work.
As a matter of fact, you're scheduled to be on it this week.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, you are.
We'll talk about probably anything but sports.
Probably. Jay Rude, by the way, Vice President of Racing Sports here at MGM Resorts International. We are at the Aria. Baseball playoffs in the air. People betting on it. What a great place to be here during the afternoon.
Great place to be. I mean, you got 550 next door.
550 pizza.
Outstanding pizza with extra crispy crust. A whole outstanding selection of beer. I think I know where I'm going to spend my time when we get done here for the next hour and a half, probably watching the Dodgers play the Milwaukee Brewers, and they've made it a series now. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So awesome. That sounds like a great afternoon. NFL this weekend, of course. NFL remains king. Week 7. Great game at Baltimore. New Orleans off a bye week. At Baltimore. Baltimore favored by 2.5. The total is 50. When last we saw the Saints, Jay, they were on Monday Night Football. It was a coronation of Drew Brees, and the world got to see the New Orleans Saints destroy the Washington Redskins. The Ravens, though, this is what's more interesting here. They're more reflective of a team in the NFL, so many teams in the NFL, I should say, that are just Jekyll and Hyde from week to week. Yep. I had the Ravens a couple weeks ago at Cleveland, given just 3. What a frustrating experience that was betting on the Ravens, because you get that Joe Flacco face early and you're like, oh God, I got to watch this for the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then they go out and destroy the Titans. Last week, 21-0, 11 sacks, a franchise record. What do you make of the Ravens, and what do you think this number does here at 2.5? Does it get to 3?
This is going to be an interesting game. I think obviously the public, with the Saints coming off of a bye week, I think they're going to back the Saints heavily. The public is in this particular spot. One, because they like offense, and they probably think that their offense is a little more predictable than the Ravens' offense right now. I just don't know if the Sharp community will come in and support this Ravens team at home under a field goal. It looks like a great spot for them to come into. So this looks like a pros versus Joes game. When it boils down to the end of the day, I'm going to probably really need Ravens because I'm going to have a ton of money going into the Saints parlays. I think we're going to have, even though this is, 50, there's a lot of debate on whether this total is, priced right. I think the public is going to go over because that seems like a short price for a Saints team that looks like they've sort of gotten it together since the first couple of stumbling blocks when they were playing. And your Washington Redskins couldn't have been more accommodating for Drew Brees' coming out for being the top passer in the NFL. They did a very good job.
Might as well have been the Washington Generals that night.
Yeah, they played that part well.
Yes, they are the foil. Yes, this does feel like a tease for the Saints. Tease maybe to 8.5 from the 2.5, go through the 3 and the 7. Yeah. Remember those key numbers. And remember, in terms of just betting these against the number, Jay has to post a line for every single one of these games, don't you?
I do.
But as the bettor, we get to pick and choose. That's our one single biggest advantage over the bookmaker. Sometimes the best bets are the bets not made. Maybe this is a stay away for you on the line itself. New Orleans, 2.5-point dogs at Baltimore, total 50 on Sunday afternoon. We're at the Aria, right here on Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Back at the Aria here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the beautiful sports book at the Aria. Gil Alexander, Jay Rude. And it's a flex situation, Jay, Sunday night.
Look at this, though.
Oh, that's a flex situation,
and
too.
You shall receive.
I buried the headline.
Yes, thank you to Dave. He ran over and got us a slice.
Thank you to Dave,
Did I say us? I didn't mean that.
Might be your slice, I'm guessing. By the time I can even grab for it, $5.50. That's called Gotham style.
Gotham, it looks outstanding.
Oh, a little sausage, a little pepperoni.
I mean, that right there alone is worth the Uber trip to Aria, no matter where you're staying in the city.
It's worth doing this show alone. There is one more game to talk about.
Yes.
It is a flex situation, as I was getting to before I was rudely interrupted.
Sorry.
They flexed out the Rams and the Niners. They flexed in the Chiefs. 6-point favorites. The Chiefs against the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. Chiefs deserve it. Even in a loss to the Patriots last week, they sort of came out looking good, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, the weird thing is that they said that there's never been an NFL game that ended up 43-40.
That was weird.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that either.
I guess it's some crazy combination of field goals and touchdowns and all that.
You know what else happened in that game that had never happened before? The Patriots never punted, never got penalized, and still didn't cover the spread.
Wow,
no team has ever not gotten penalized and not punted.
Well, not getting penalized. I mean, that's
home.
Patriot way, right? I mean, Brady and Belichick, you got to basically go out there and rip somebody's leg or arm off to get a penalty.
Induce the flag?
Yes, right.
6 points.
But no, this is going to be a great game, I think.
Chiefs Bengals, yeah.
Yeah, Chiefs Bengals, because Bengals are consistently playing well, very competitive. Chiefs, I mean, there could be some crazy firepower in this game.
Yeah, there could be.
Highest total of the week.
Bengals are another one of those interesting teams in the sense that they are not thought of by the casual bettor as one of the NFL's elite. Yet, here they are at 4-2, despite having lost to the Steelers last week. If the Bengals can somehow get this done and actually win this outright, will a panic sort of set into Kansas City? And more importantly, where you're concerned, do bettors for teams that are not perennial winners like the Chiefs, do they sort of back off quickly?
I don't think they're going to. I think this Chief train is going to kind of keep going because they're scoring enough, and I think they have, they would rather lose by being out defensed maybe than lose by seeing a team put up 40 points. And that I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. Is these guys are going to go back and forth. Cincinnati went down and scored, looked like they were going to win the game with less than a minute. So that's gritty. I mean, they feel like they're in every game. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. I think we're definitely going to need Cincinnati.
Yes,
For
sure.
I think the sharps are definitely going to be on Cincinnati. I think the public is going to be all over Kansas City. I think they're going to be all over the total. So hopefully I get to sweat the total a little later into this game than I did the Patriot game. I mean, it was pretty much over at halftime at that point.
58.5 on the total. Do you think this gets, last thing on this, do you think it gets to 7? And if so, whether it gets to 7 or not, even 6.5, is this one of those, though, if you like Cincinnati, just wait, and if you like Kansas City, bet it early?
I think that's probably a good philosophy in this.
Yeah.
I think if this game's going to do anything, I think it does go to 7.
Okay.
Or it stays where it's at. But I think the propensity to go to 7 is much stronger than anything else.
Week 7, National Football League, whether it's the NFL on Sunday, college football Saturday, basketball has started, hockey going on, baseball playoffs.
It's a good time of the year.
What a great country this is. At least here in the confines of the state of Nevada.
And you got slices of pizza just magically appearing.
And you got beautiful pizza. For Jay Rue, the Vice President of Race and Sports at MGM Resorts International, Gil Alexander from the Vegas Stats and Information Network, thank you for watching once again Behind the Book. We'll be back next week, as always, brought to you by the Play MGM app.